My name is Aram. Welcome back to Godsfall. Godsfall is a custom fantasy story told through the lens of a Dungeons & Dragons game that is played and recorded in Washington, D.C. and written and produced in Chicago.
Hi, my name is Steven. I'm playing the 5th level Dwarf Paladin, Torrvic Wildtongue.
My name is Doug, and I'm playing Dorro Knott, 5th level Halfling Rogue.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'm playing Xion Praeten, the 5th level Human Sorcerer.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm playing Rina Falaval, a 5th level Wild Elf Ranger.
Last time on Godsfall.
Queen Phryne and Lord Haldir Laran exchange pleasantries, flirtations, and the occasional vicious mockery.
You're quite fascinated by sightseeing, it would seem.
And I noticed, and I would notice that quite clearly.
Yeah, that was pretty blunt.
While we're being blunt, it is not the sightseeing I'm interested in.
Well, your interest is apparently large. Your imagination seems somewhat limited.
The challenge has been well laid.
Well laid.
In the middle of what was otherwise a lovely royal brunch, Brannick reappeared, covered in blood, weapon in hand.
You feel queasy. Your equilibrium is totally thrown off, and you grab the table for a second. And you have to steady yourself with a breath. And then you just feel an opening behind you and a pulling of air, and there is an explosion. And then all of a sudden, Brannick is there. He's in half plate, he is drenched head to toe in blood, and he has a huge sword in his hand. Initiative.
I stand up and I take out my figurines and I yell, Lana, Yanya!
He throws his hand like he just tossed two little Monopoly figures. Think, think, think in front of you, and for a second you think he's insane. And then the very next second, two golden lions erupt out of nothingness, let out a terrible roar, and clearly are putting themselves now in between Brannick and you.
Guards, arrest this man!
So the guards go right in. The first one swings at Brannick, bounces off his armor. The second one comes in towards his face, and he meets him directly, and his eyes are now focused.
I want them to incapacitate.
Both his lions leap, hit Brannick at the same time. Claws and teeth go into the metal of his shoulders, and he is drugged, slammed down onto his back, and pinned by two heavy lions. Yeah, he's incapacitated. I mean, he's being stripped of his sword, he's being held, he's screaming and biting and flailing.
Is there any kind of, I should know this, but is there any kind of like put someone to sleep spell?
Wavy, wavy, wave.
Yeah, sleep,
right.
sleep,
sleep. Sleep, sleep,
Well, all she has
right.
to do is drop a rose petal. So
Right.
Put some rose petal.
Rose petal. Grab some rose petals, fling them in his face, sleep.
After Brannick was disarmed and under control, Queen Phryne returned her attention to Haldir Laran.
Well, that was certainly more than adequate.
I'm pleased to introduce Lona and Yanya.
Big, purr, big, huge headbutt.
Yeah, maybe a little scritching behind the ears.
It's like a cat, right? Except there's force,
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little startling, but
Yeah.
they're very sweet.
Where is the place I feel most secure? Presumably in the throne room.
Oh, totally, yes.
You are here for more than collecting your brother.
Yes.
What are your aims? And particularly, what are your intentions?
I told you at the very beginning, and my personal aims and goals have been the same since the Gods' War. I look to reclaim the magic and the power that the elves lost, and to restore our race to the glory that we once held.
Perception from you.
4 plus 9 is 13.
That's going to do it. There is a hum. And you're recognizing now that there's a resonance inside the tier of Sito, and it's starting to get louder and louder. So you can just kind of like put feelers out in all directions, and you immediately
what the hell's going on?
Yeah, you can immediately feel it. It's a huge, huge amount of energy. It's coming directly from the Union. There is a spike of energy being fired into the air. Into the air, and the world storm seems to be swirling into it. You can just feel crackling energy from all over.
Pardon me, my queen, but I must check on my ships. They are 3 of the only in the world.
They're also the only thing that can break the Qatarian line.
And if they're destroyed, there's a lot of problems that all of us have.
Yeah, it's really true.
I understand you are eager for answers. There will be time.
Again, I just unnecessarily leaving the palace grounds in times of upheaval.
This is necessary.
She also has, there was literally just an earthquake. Like, did things collapse in your kingdom? I don't know.
It's possible.
Perhaps I should be among my people. Ugh, irritating.
While the High Elf royalty tended to their respective responsibilities, Xion, Pera, and Torrvic headed further west along the southern edge of Wessel, while Rina and Dorro helped Queen Cyrena reclaim more of the God King's equipment.
It's going to take you a day to get to the fire. It's going to take half a day to get to the shield.
So we have half a day to get the shield.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the shield. So, you guys break north, the other team goes due west, and we have officially split the party. A couple hours into the journey, you've already lost sight of the wagon long ago. The land starts to gently slope upwards and to start to get grassier. The sand and rock is starting to give way to shrubs and grassland. You guys are riding, and it is dark. It's like midnight now. The rocks are getting larger. There's, boulders now once in a while. There's rolling hills, and you saw some movement. Creatures moving from, hillside and rock to rock on
big,
both sides
or do
of
they
you.
look like...
They're definitely like orcs. They're hunched over, muscular. There's definitely orcs trailing you on both sides now. They grunt at each other and point, break off on either side, and are just kind of like shadowed as you guys pull away north, and they're just standing there watching you pull away. Cyrena is very clearly leading you in a north direction now.
I asked her if the pool is stronger. She's
Yes,
a strong pool.
much
Okay.
stronger. There's a silver glow just over this next rise. Yeah, like this little line of silver. And as you kind of turn towards Cyrena nods. She clearly understands what you're seeing, and she sees it as well. As you're approaching up and you're coming over this rise,
Tie up the horses.
Yeah, like stop a little early
Okay,
and then maybe
sure.
sneak up there in
Yeah.
case they literally have a watchtower right there or something like that.
get onto your stomachs and are doing that kind of elbow crawl thing right up to the ridge. 40 feet down, there's a bright silver glow, and the shield is just sitting there. Cyrena starts to lift herself up. You grab her and haul her back down, and you start looking around. Something's not right here. This isn't just a crater. There's claw marks on the edges, and there's dig marks all around this. There's something else going on here.
I say that, I'm like, there's something else going on.
There's no listen roll. It's just perception, right? Roll it again.
22.
As you say that, you hear the screams of horses and then some sort of unnatural growling, and then
Grab Cyrena and teleport us to the shield.
you're in the crater. She reaches
That's the
out,
first one.
grabs her shield, and there's just an explosion of energy and light around you. She's now glowing. So you grab her, and then boom, you blink into the tree just as a pair of stone jaws snap shut.
Okay, so I need to teleport us back to the wagon.
Yay,
Bewlet.
Team Cyreno Marlin.
Yep, okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Focus your energy.
Do you
roll.
want me to, I can...
Everyone roll wisdom, who is on this team.
Caitlin's there, but she's never done it before. I mean, you start talking about the bridge and what it does, and, this is how you do... Well, you probably...
Yeah, how much of the bridge does Caitlin know?
Well, she rolled a 19, and it's wisdom, so she rolled a 21.
I got a 2.
I'll make a bridge, use my abilities. And she pushes her dream state out. So this reality just flows out of her like a bubble. And all around you, roll perception.
21.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, this is just like all of you just appeared in Port Bliss. And you can't feel that Seeker Stone any longer. The connection to it
from over there.
is gone. You have a general idea of the direction, but you can't connect to it anymore. It's too far away.
Well, but no, maybe it's too far away. Maybe I was already on this other thing that this is Caitlin's thing again, and we're not in the world, and that's why the connection was severed. So I gotta figure out how to get out of Caitlin's dream now again.
Great, so you start pinching yourself.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And people are just people doing people things?
It's nighttime and you're on the dock, so it's not particularly busy, but there's a couple people on the docks, yeah.
I'm not seeing dead guild members.
No.
So...
No.
Am I there, though?
Yeah, you're all there. You're all there. And the queen's there, too. And she's like, are we in Port Bliss? And she feels the pull of it, and she recognizes it. So, H would be... She says she does feel a pull. She knows what it is. There's a ring. There's a ring pulling her now to the west. She can absolutely feel that.
And so she pushed the dream of the bliss from
But you are now here, while everyone else is now here.
Yeah, I just love the way dice changes the story.
Yeah.
You are now probably 1,000 miles apart.
Who has the eye saw?
I do.
No, you
unfortunately.
don't. Yes, he
I
does.
thought she did.
No, I never gave it back to her.
Never did.
Yeah.
Zion!
Well, no, we were just gonna fucking leave it in that room, right? And I was scooped it up really fast with the beholder, and I never had a chance to give it back to you.
That's true. That's exactly what happened. Yep. Yeah.
Oh boy.
You expected to hear from them by now. The plan was they were going to go there, get the shield, come back to you guys. You expected.
So what we were going to do, we weren't going to come storming into this fiery place. We're observing it from,
Exactly. Well, that was the plan. But also the plan was when they were about halfway there, they should expect to see you guys. At least you guys have been riding through the night for several hours, and it has been quiet. You have seen nothing, heard nothing, but the fire is getting brighter and brighter as you ride along.
They should have been here by now.
Has it been that long? I mean,
what was that?
What's that my sundial.
In the middle of the night.
My moon dial.
My moon dial. Yeah, I mean, it's been 3, maybe 4 hours. I mean, you expected them.
Well, it would have been 6, yeah.
6 hours, yeah. 6 hours, yeah.
Well, they probably ran into a complication. I have every faith in Dorro and Rina's and Cyrena's and even Joshua's abilities.
I think they'll be fine.
But then again, they brought Caitlin. No.
That's exactly that's what I'd say. But they have Caitlin with them.
Yeah, well, she needs to learn how to handle her own eventually. I mean, there's no reason to baby her. If she doesn't learn to use her powers, she'll be overtaken by more powerful creatures than herself. We have to train her. It's our duty to do so.
That's ironic. Yep. Paddle. So you guys gallop for another hour, and there's, again, no sign of them, and you're starting to get 2 more hours, and you're going to crest around. So as you're coming around this way, you start to see fires. There are fires along lines all broken out here. It looks like a line of fire along these scrub brush hills. So there's this crackly, dry scrub brush all up and down the sand and rock dunes here. All of those are on fire.
Now, where are we? This isn't on this.
Ah, sorry. This is in the sand hills. In the sand hills, there is scrub brush all over, and there's a line of it on fire, pretty much right from where it hits the coal spine, 50, 60 miles north, a whole line of it marching on fire towards you guys. Or at least it seems to be approaching. Not in a huge, not terribly fast, 10, maybe 12 miles an hour.
Right, so it seems to be a brush fire that's gone out of control.
Brush fire, yeah, that would be a fair thing to say.
You have a wooden wagon.
You drove a wooden wagon, that is a slight problem. But whenever you see California doing a burn control, it seems like that and it didn't go well. There is a trail at some point that you guys are going to come across, and that trail does head directly to Flat Rock. This line of fire, you'd say right now, is roughly here. So it'd be advancing, but the turn to Flat Rock would be, several days in advance of this thing, assuming it gets this far. Because there's a lot of open sand between it and here, so it may just burn off.
I mean, I hate to be anticlimactic, but the truth is, if the rest haven't appeared yet, and we're expecting them to be here, and there's not going to be a fire that's going to hit us right now, I would just camp. Like,
I think that would be what you would do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be good. Like a good cut would be us just like, all right, well, let's just camp out until.
We'll camp and wait as the fire's crackling in the background and you're taking first watch. Yeah, that works out. That's perfect.
I wish I had done while we were still doing it, but it's important that I do it before we play again because I won't remember it.
Talk to me.
That as soon as we appear and Cyrina's like, isn't this poor Bliss? Instead of being pensive and thinking about it, I would have ignored everyone and ran over to Caitlin and grabbed her hands and like spun her around and celebrated and been like, you did it, you made your power work, you did it yourself.
Right.
And she'd be like, I did.
Great. I did. But aren't we in really far now?
It doesn't matter, we'll figure it out. This seemed like a bigger obstacle, didn't it?
Okay, yay!
And the other two are like,
yeah, they are not yay. They are not yay whatsoever.
I'm happy that I guess I would be a little happy that I'm near my
You're
home.
real close to home now.
We could go get Aram.
Yahtzee! Yahtzee! That's it! We go to the forest, we get Aram, we get this thing, and then with your Hagen and all their friends and then, all their help and stuff, except everybody else.
The only problem is the last time we saw Aram, he was like running around and like.
No, he helped us in the siege thing.
No, but remember we saw him in the God King, and he showed us Aram, and Aram was frantically like looking around, which means something's going down.
Oh well, maybe we should help.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
we have 2 horses attached to a wagon. We have Torrvic, Pera, and myself, Xion. And we have a whole wagon filled with like bedrolls and shit.
You have all the supplies.
All the supplies. But we don't have any of the money.
Right. All the supplies, none of the money. Right. Okay.
We have the Eye of Saw
Right.
on my person.
Correct.
They have the Stone of a Gun.
Correct.
He has the Tear of Ova or whatever.
The
yeah.
what the heck was it? Claw of Ova. Fang of Ova.
Fang
Thank
of
you.
Ova,
Thank
yeah.
you.
And we have a bunch of other random sundries.
And they've got oinkers.
They've got oinkers.
Right, so this is the first time you guys have been a split up, which is weird.
No, we were split up the whole.
Oh, true. While you're in the tower. Yeah.
Which
no, good
technically
point.
lasted 2.5 days, but went over like 15 episodes.
Right, exactly. 2.5. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You were in the tower for 2.5 days, but it was like 15 episodes.
Real time. We did it real time.
All right, so you guys are in the south. You are in the Sand Hills, is what this area is called, and it's pretty much self-descriptive. It's sandy hills.
It's very flat.
Right. It's very, very flat and verdant.
Plush.
Could there be hills by any chance?
There are indeed hills, and they are sandy. It is hot and rough and dry and, sandy. And you guys are heading towards what looks just like a line of fire on the entire western horizon, coming out of.
Luckily, we have unlimited water, so doesn't matter that it's.
That's true. Well, it's true. It's true. You guys are basically a roving fire station. I didn't even think about that actually.
So
That's absolutely true.
Ding, 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 ding.
And like they're all
Can
carrying
you
the
like
keg.
cast alarm? That would be amazing.
Ding, ding, ding.
You just like, you just don't shoot beer, shoot the water. In fact, they shoot water like a goddamn geyser. What a brilliant. Okay, I gotta even think about that. Anyways, so you're heading towards the fire, and you're just on a wagon, like just driving towards the fire, right? That's what you're doing. Okay. Are you in animal form or in dwarf form?
I'm just gonna be in dwarf form, like sitting at the head of the wagon.
Perfect.
Right behind the horses.
What are you guys doing?
We're just kind of looking out and looking for this fire.
Yeah, Pera was like in the back and is like kind of moved and is like looking like over your guy's shoulder. So he's kind of like in the back seat, kind of, looking over. And you're like, yeah, can you stop this? Right? I'm assuming you're vocalizing
so
this
Pera,
plan. Yeah.
How much can you control fire?
And Pera's kind of like, just like real slow pan over the horizon. You can see the line of fire in his big brown eyes. And he's like, well, I mean, I can feel it from here. And he kind of like puts a hand out and you guys see the fire kind of just like bow ever so slightly, as if the moon was passing over the ocean. You would get
a bow, right? And he can, so he's like, I can feel that from here. I think I can handle this.
Do you feel that this is a natural fire? Or is
Yes.
this being created by
No,
some...
this was just a fire. It was set. I know it was set. I don't know how, but it was a set
history
fire.
of this fire.
But this is, but this was definitely set on purpose. Wait, stop the wagon, stop the wagon. And just kind of sits there for a second. I need help. And he reaches out to you.
Sure, I clasp his hand and I flow my force into him.
Roll die 20.
It's just the die
19.
20. Yeah, 11. So
11, that's enough. I mean, you guys link for a second, you feel the bridge form in between you, and then you feel his heartbeat. And it's very loud. And you can feel it radiate through his arm and into your chest, and then you can feel yours sink. And your hearts are just thudding, and you can see the fire as your heartbeats go, just along the lines from the center, like a burst is going out along with your heartbeats. And then you can kind of feel yourself sucked into the fire, and there is a mile where you're just soaring through fire and embers and exploding trees, and then out through a huge dense cloud of smoke above it. And you guys can see half mile thick line of fire roaring this direction. And then you're just back into your bodies again.
That's a lot of fire.
Yeah, that's a lot of fire.
What the hell are you two doing? Jeez.
We're looking at the
Fire walking.
Fire walking. Drinking the fire water.
You people are weird.
It's a lot of fire, but I mean, if we get close enough, yeah, I think I can handle it. I may need some help, but I think I can handle it.
Well, we have to stop this fire.
All right, so you guys,
didn't start the fire.
you guys, but it's always burning. All right,
Since the world's been turning.
Yeah, so you guys cross over one of the hills, and before you is a tremendous scene. As you approach the line of fire to the west, you find thousands of orcs. Forming a truly massive bucket brigade, passing water along lines hundreds deep from a river nearly half a mile away. Other teams busily chop down trees and gouge huge trenches into the earth with the help of several dozen tamed Granta, pulling oversized iron plows. The rest of the orcs empty their buckets into a series of these dugout lines, creating a network of crisscrossing moats meant to rob the oncoming fire of both fuel and heat. The coordination and speed of their labor is astonishing.
All right.
Let's help them.
So, Pera and I will combine our powers and work to tame this flame. You're the only one with an artifact that can do something about this.
All right, let's get started.
Not spot. Help me.
Perception.
Roll perception.
18.
18?
14.
14. Okay, you don't see it. You catch them, but only just out of the corner of your eye, you see about a dozen orcs that are just all of a sudden, they must have been there. They must have been tracking you down, and they're now stepping out. You know, they've got dirt and sand and like different, like they basically look like they're wearing ghillie suits. Thank you. And they just kind of rise out all around you, weapons drawn, and are basically, you know, stand down, you know, they're shouting at you in common, rather broken common, but weapon down, you know, why here? Weapon down, why here?
Here to help.
Okay, they all kind of look at each other.
I grab the
fire bad.
My jug.
Yeah.
Aim it toward the fire.
Right.
And do full bore water.
From this geyser of water, just I need you to roll strength.
4.
4. Okay. So this gush of water knocks you on your ass. Roll it one more time.
8.
Okay, you struggle up onto your knees. You can't even get onto your feet again. You're just barely able to hold it and cap it off again, right? And there are a couple orcs whose jaws just drop. They have never seen anything like this. Orcs have short lives, and they have never seen anything like this.
Right.
Most of them haven't been alive through the majority of magic, and they all just kind of look at each other, rather confused about what to do.
I clasp Pera, and I levitate us into the air.
Okay, hang on. Roll Constitution.
For I am God.
Roll me a Constitution, just for focus.
Constitution?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, Wisdom. I'm sorry. Everything about yours is Wisdom.
Okay. 12.
Okay, good enough. So you touch his arm and you two kind of rise out, and you're surrounded by this field, and this field washes over all of you, including it washes over your eyes. Okay? And you've really never noticed this until now, but your vision shifts slightly when you're in this field. Mm-hmm. There's a slight glow around Pera, there's a slight glow around Torrvic, and there's a very slight glow around that young orc.
Nice, good to know.
And he is the only one, by the way, that that just stands there. Everyone else kind of takes a step back. He doesn't move. He's staring right at you.
Okay. I wink at him as we as the two of us head towards the fire, levitating towards the fire.
Okay. They start shouting at Orc. To everyone else around them, as other orcs are now seeing this and starting to move towards their elite group of whatever they are, has now broken up into two lines and are shouting at the other orcs around them. Those orcs are now making room for both the wagon and for you guys. You hear a hiss just in time to turn your head, and a tree that's been boiling from the heat explodes about 10 feet off to your guys' right. I need you to roll reflex saves.
Dexterity.
I need you to roll dexterity saves.
14.
Ooh, okay, so you can react.
Okay.
Pera can't.
I encase us in a shield.
2/3 of your party is
14.
gone.
So as the explosion happens, several orcs, by the way, that were right next to you that put their hands up were protected as this shield went up. Your shield kind of shot up at around about a 10-foot by 10-foot wall. It wasn't quite a bubble as much it was you made a wall. You've never made a wall before, but you were able to protect an entire area. A couple of orcs got blasted on the other side. There's about half a dozen of them. A couple are clearly dead, and the others are immediately being tended to. It's impressive how quickly teams are working. And now that you're within it, you can clearly see that it's not just random. There are specific people who have tasks. There are orcs waiting, looking for people that are injured, and then are breaking out in teams to help the injured. They're not just doing this haphazardly.
What's the godling orc doing?
Whenever there's panic, he seems to be there, and he's able to calm it, and he's able to direct. Anytime he talks to people, they seem to focus, and they seem to work with calm and relaxation.
Got a piece.
He's able to. There's after the explosion went up, two of the Grantas reared up, and he was able to basically just walk up and guide them back down, start walking them forward again. And we're talking, boars that are the size of elephants, and he's able just to work them just like gentle pack animals. No problems whatsoever.
Been at this for a while, then.
He clearly has mastery over his powers.
Yes. Well, we'll have this long discussion, I'm sure, after we deal with this fire situation. So
Absolutely.
What are you up to? I'm sorry, your turn.
After I brush myself off from blowing myself off, I'm going to turn into an ape.
Torrvic turns into this huge ape, and again, a couple of them give you space, and there's a lot of attention being paid, but these are focused orcs, and there's a big problem coming their way, so they're continuing to work.
And the same thing, just I pick up the barrel back again, and it use my non-opposable thumbs to try to flip the switch and
awesome.
Just spray it.
All right, so you just charge right to the front line, plant yourself down, and get ready to start blasting. While you're there, perception.
Both of us, or just him?
Just him, because he's at the front line.
Okay. 13.
Right.
Yeah,
Now
you see it. So you're getting set up, right? And the winds shift. And out of the corner of your eye, you catch about a dozen orcs, and you see like as they turn, as the wind is shifting, they get caught. This line of flame cuts them off from the rest, and as it's flickering up and down, you can see that they are trapped.
Turn my focus toward that and start trying to get that line.
Basically just turn a whole hose all on your own. Strength?
There we go. 19.21.
Nice. And you create this jet stream of water that's going towards them, and you're able to kind of angle and kind of get it to where you want, but you realize that it's just not the right spray. You dig your fingers into the top and you're gripping as hard as you can, and the water spreads. It shoots out in just a wash and comes down like a rain, and is able to extinguish enough of that area that the orcs can run out to safety on the next round. So you're clearing a path as long as you're able to hold it next round.
Oh boy. I guess I'll go with Pera, and I will join with his power to try to help him to control some of this fire and make it go away.
Okay, all right, so you guys link up. I'm gonna roll the good dice, hang on.
I don't help very much, 14.
He rolls a 16, that's enough. So you two, your arms are kind of linked so that they're all the way down each other. So your arm is gripping his bicep, and his is grabbing yours. So your arms are fully linked, and you rise up off the ground. Fire swirls in his eyes, and that purple pink energy of the astral realm swirls in his, and you just feel and fire just starts to come off the tips. At first, just little tendrils of it, and it starts to twirl and wave towards you guys, and orcs are clearing a path as this tendril of fire reaches out, and then when it gets close, it rockets in. You have never felt anything like it. Your lungs are breathing fire, your hair is breathing fire. None of it touches you, but it all touches you. It's part of you, it's in you. You feel your fingers evaporating into fire and then back into fingers again. This must be how Pera feels fire. And it's truly something else. It's becoming you. You're becoming it. It's not about control, it's about transformation. And as fire begins to rocket into him, he begins to absorb it. And you can see his body being consumed by it.
Don't die.
Hang on.
Yo, my forest.
He looks at you. His eyes are now just white, hot coals. And his body is rapidly approaching that too. And he smiles. Dark black teeth within this white face, but it would normally be a comforting smile, right? And he just says in a million voices that seem to radiate from every single flicker of fire, "It's working."
Oh no!
Turn your boyfriend into the Terminator.
Oh no! Well, I mean, I continue. I'm glad that it is working, and so I'm.
Roll perception.
All right.
Good job, Dark Phoenix.
Nope, don't see anything.
Okay, you're way too focused on him.
Yeah.
But if you had been looking, and the orcs can notice this too, the fire is lessening. Like it dropped about 10% just in that one thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, I continue focusing my powers on Pera and helping him in, however.
Okay, excellent. You have saved those people. What are you doing?
Just continuing to
Just
beat
holding
the fire.
line, basically, back. They're starting to draw fire away. You initially are holding the line. As they're drawing fire away, the line is starting to back up a bit, which gives you time to then help fill those channels.
Saturate channels,
So you're holding it back, saturating, filling channels, which is a huge help. You basically formed an entire new brigade line all on your own.
Excited ape noises.
Perception from everybody.
Well, the two of us. Unless
Everyone. Oh, sorry, the two of you. I'm sorry, not everyone.
Different continents.
Everyone who's here.
I got a 21.
What'd you get?
Altogether 15.
That's enough.
11.
Even that's enough. There are screams and snarls from the bank behind you as half a dozen giant crocodiles have taken advantage of all the confusion on the banks and have dragging several orcs into the water as you guys are acting. The one orc, by the way, is rushing over there. The orc of peace, or whoever he is rushing over there.
Is everything being contained? Is it?
No, this is causing chaos. This has broken the water line. This is all of their careful planning is falling apart right now because this has thrown everything into chaos.
How many crocodiles are there?
6, and they're giant.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I throw my Pokeball at him.
Yeah.
No. You have to feed these ones a raspberry or two first.
You caught Magikarp. Yay!
I do have the iron ball, which is.
Don't waste it on a fucking crocodile. I will find you and kill you if you do that.
I've already used it, I thought. We've already used it once or twice.
Because we were going to chop off your hands.
The iron ball where you throw it and it hits them and it turns.
I forgot about
You had
the
to burn your
iron ball.
hands back on.
That's right. We had to chop your hands off.
That was
and then burn them back on. Oh, that was that was a tough half hour for Torrvic. That must have been kind of. Even with that being healed right away, that's pretty traumatic to see your stump hands, right? I'd imagine.
I don't want to see it.
So lose your hands, yes.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's pretty awful.
Losing limbs is, in fact, a traumatic experience.
Can I change from one animal to another? Is that possible?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
yeah, hang on. Listen, yours
No,
is...
you have to be a gorilla forever now.
No, I mean,
but
do I have to
he's
change back?
Does he have to go animal, human, animal?
Yeah.
Or can he go animal, animal? Yours is way different from a druid's wild shape. You can turn into any animal you want every round as a free action.
Pop.
You could literally go canary, elephant. You know what I mean? Like you could,
You could do
We'll
rhino
fulfill one
mouse,
of your.
where he's like charging in a dude
I see
and then
that.
just go between their legs.
I see all that happening,
Yep.
and I immediately turn into the eagle
Okay,
and fly above them,
gotcha.
circling. I mean, that takes one turn.
Yeah,
right?
it'll take you a round to get there. So
Are they
boom,
all
eagle,
grouped together?
basically clustered in the same 100-yard area. They're definitely attacking as a pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've drug 3 out. 2 have already been drug under water. The Orc of Peace is just swimming straight out into the water now. And you guys are staying focused, I imagine.
We're working on getting that fire under control.
Okay, this is now different. Roll Constitution.
Is this a save? So as in I would get like the full proficiency
Yeah,
bonus and everything?
absolutely.
Okay, so then 17.
Oh, you both rolled a 17. You are in perfect sync. Heartbeats as one. You're calm. You're
New level of our relationship.
I know. It's like a love song.
Wait, no, it is a heart, two hearts that beat as one.
Yeah.
I need you. That's going in.
Two hearts that beat as one. Two hearts, come on.
Okay, so you guys are perfectly in sync, and you can feel waves of energy pulsing out from you. You can see the ground and the little grains of sand. Thum, 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 thum. The fire, thum, thum. And every time it beats out, fire gets sucked in. He's and he glows and he glows. It is pure daylight now. It's not that he's creating light. Inside this sphere, looking into this sphere, there is a column now of daylight that exists. It cuts through the sky into the clouds, and there's perfect blue noonday for about 50 feet wide. Just a column of noon.
Is he creating it?
Yes, he must be.
Right.
Or is he projecting the fire out?
He's using
Whatever
fire
he's
to
doing.
be able to do this. Yeah.
Whatever he's doing,
Is it like fiery, like, or is it light?
No. It is just a column of daylight
he's
in the
making
darkness.
this effect. Okay.
It appears that he is converting fire into
light.
sunlight.
Right. Gotcha.
Oh, not so evil.
Yeah.
Yet.
16. All right. I need
Are you rolling for evil?
1, 2. Yes, I'm rolling for you, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the rest go to the orcs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You are swooping down, and a tree basically explodes in front of you. I need a reflex save.
Well, I'm over the water.
But you weren't coming down? I thought
No,
you were,
I was hovering above
All right,
the water.
You see a tree explode underneath you. The tree just as orcs are rushing around, another tree blows up right on the bank and takes out a good 7 of them are just knocked down. 2 of them are clearly dead. The other 5 are heavily wounded. And they are on the banks as crocodiles are advancing on them.
And you said there's about 6 or 7 crocodiles?
There's 4 now.
Yeah,
As you look back towards the water, literally that one orc has a hand on both of their throats, and they have kind of risen out of the water around him and are trilling and vibrating the water around him, but aren't attacking and aren't moving otherwise. Though he seems very focused on what he's doing.
All right, so ignore those 2. I'm going to get right above those 4 that are kind of clumped together. And
that are coming for the wounded,
yeah. And turn into a giant... Are they in the water still?
Oh, yeah.
Turn into a giant octopus and fall.
Yeah!
Right in the middle of them and immediately release my inkjet.
Okay, excellent. Roll, I guess, Dex to hit with it?
Yeah,
Dex...
It's a touch attack.
Well,
what is it?
No, ink cloud is a 20-foot radius cloud.
Oh, it's
a mist.
Yes, so it'd be like a PBAOE.
All right,
You're putting it there.
Yeah, all right. Everything is covered in ink. The crocodiles fail miserably on their reflex save, and they are blinking and thrashing and slamming into each other, but they're not advancing at this point. Back to you guys. Any other
From fire today.
Yep.
Feel my wrath.
Can we see this?
19.
19. Okay. You feel like all of a sudden this perfect balance go wonky real quick. There's this weight and this horrible, horrible cold inside him, and this darkness, and this just like everything's caving into it, like nothing could escape it, not even light. But
force!
You bring him up. You flow energy and life and love back into him, and he takes a breath and you're sunk again. A little less fire draws off this time, but it's still working.
But we're still alive.
The daylight fluctuates a bit, seems to almost cave in on itself, and then vroom, is reestablished. Okay, no event happens this round, thankfully. You guys are spared one. Okay, so...
why do these orcs keep all their explosives in trees? It's really weird.
They don't keep...
Why are you keeping all your dynamite there?
When trees superheat, especially trees of a certain type, they explode.
But they're exploding, and they're all exploding. It's like,
They're all
what are
like
you
pine
putting
trees
in
with
there?
sap.
Stop that. They're all hiding like they're grog in it, and they think they're being clever.
No,
and look what's happening.
No, what these are is that these are trees that exist in a really, really dry climate that are near a riverbank. So they absorb huge amounts of water, and then they superheat and explode.
Orcs are keeping their grog in some of these trees, and that's why they're exploding.
However, perception rolls. I want some perception rolls from both of you with this third one going off. You especially, because you're
17.
Yeah, your ears are good right now.
20.
Both of you. You definitely can hear I mean, it's hard to hear above the din of battle. You're a little bit more tuned because your ears are just better now with your better perception rolls. But there's definitely a very, very high-pitched whistle before these things are exploding. So there's, as the water is evaporating and shooting out sides of the bark before it gets completely superheated, you can now hear these things explode. So you're gonna get a bonus on your reflex saves from now on because you're used to them. Dexterity saves because you're used to them. All right, so
We are dexterous
what are you
creatures.
doing? Keep up at it,
going
right?
while we can.
Constitution.
Para.
18.
I give Para.
Oh, okay.
I give Para an inspiration point.
straight out falters. You just see his head droop and his eyes close.
All right.
And you
I pull up a force field then around us.
Okay, excellent. So, vroom, and that's fine. And you're able to focus on him as well. And you're able to, keep him up. The whole line of fire rages back for a moment. It goes completely dark around you, and only towards the end is he able to gently light it up again. But
I release the field.
you guys are back into it again, but the fire is exactly where it is. It's still at 50. You've still only drawn off approximately 15%.
Just trying to grab one of the.
Grab or hit?
Well, when you hit with a tentacle,
Oh,
it
cool.
instantly grapples.
Excellent.
With a DC, I forget the DC. but
Awesome.
Let's hit
Because he's
first.
got little suckers on it.
Yeah. Plus 5 to hit, so
12?
12.
I believe that'll. Oh, no, unfortunately not. Shit. Okay, so.
Oh my God.
You kind of like, they are slippery and you slap across its back, but you're not quite able to get a grip on it, so it just kind of glances off its back and into the water. But you're still the one thing in the way. And there are
Damn ink.
orcs now that have run up and are starting to drag the wounded orcs away, so they'll have them clear within 2 rounds.
Okay.
The Orc of Peace has kind of lowered his crocodiles back into the water and is moving backwards as they're going downriver. But he's still very focused on what he's doing.
Same thing.
Just striking?
Just slapping wild.
Roll to hit.
Gotta hit one freaking thing. There we go.
All right.
15, 20.
20. Okay, so how much damage does that do?
It says hit 10, 2d6 plus 3, bludgeoning.
2 to, all right, roll 2 to 6
What does
plus
that,
3.
What does that 10 mean right there? See how it says 10?
10 times 2d6 plus 3?
Holy shit.
No.
surely not.
What
Well, in
that
math, that's
means,
what
no,
that
no.
means,
What it's doing is that it's giving you the average, and then it's showing you how it got that. So
if you're a
you
DM,
roll.
you
So
Yeah.
roll
You
the
either
damage.
take 10 or...
Yeah, exactly. But
If
no,
you're
we
a
always
GM,
roll.
you can take 10. And
Yeah, but
I
that's so
got you.
lame. I would just always roll the damage.
All right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11.
And he's, it's grappled.
And it is grappled. So you just slam a tentacle down on the closest one around you. It strikes it flat on the back of its like big spiny neck and then wraps twice around its giant body. You have it firmly in your grip.
Cool.
It's not happy about it, but you had it firmly in your grip. The other 3, at least this round, are going to attack. So do you have more than one attack?
That's what I don't know. I would assume.
I mean, you got more than one arm.
How would it not be 8 attacks?
Okay, I'm gonna make a DM's call to say that you can do.
Oh, it does say octopus can't use its tentacles on another target until the grapple ends.
Oh, you have to focus on one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And they are they are giant crocodiles, so you are kind of on almost...
Got 2 tentacles, pretty much, that are...
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good enough. So you are fully engaged with one as the other 3 bite at you. But at least it's you and not a wounded orc.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys abandoned them real quick. Does a 23 hit you?
Yeah, because I'm an octopus, I'm an armor class 11. They roll disadvantage because of the ink, or is that gone now?
That's gone at this point because they washed it off.
Gotcha.
One of them hits, the other 2 basically just flail about in the water next to you, but one kind of rides in and just chomps the heck out of your side. And you take 3, 7, 8 plus 5, 13 points of damage. It takes a big old mouthful of Torrvic puss.
Do my hit points change to the octopuses?
Correct. And then when you come
go
back
down to 0, you go back to your hit
your
points?
own hit points, but you're
Is it
healed.
like druid?
Okay.
You're not
It's
wounded.
like the druid thing.
Yeah, it's like a druid. It's weird.
It's extra armor. You
right.
turn into something.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
you're
hit
basically
points
wearing
go
it as a
down.
form. Kind of like he wears his force field.
Yeah.
Alright, so 39 points left.
All right,
All right.
my turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Focus with my boyfriend.
All right.
I did well. This is, what it was, it wisdom?
Yeah. No, Constitution with
Oh
these.
yeah, Constitution, that's plus 4, so 20.
He looks like he's starting to panic, but he's holding on to it. His
can do it,
eyes
buddy.
have gone completely white now, and there seems to be cracks that have formed of white spidering out from his eyes all over his face, as if the veins now have also gone pure white in his head, and he just seems to be consumed by fire at this point. The daylight is now spreading. It's gone to about 100 feet wide and is starting to edge towards the river. All right, the fire drops another 5%. Now it's about 20% down, and is starting to edge back a bit.
Completely release the alligator and yell out. Well, I don't know if I can yell.
You can
Chirp out.
Yeah.
That's what you say. So you just release and slide back. And then there's just calm. And you feel a hand in your back. And you're calm. And this energy that you're putting out in combination with the orc who is now standing behind you, there's just like a wave and everything stops. All the orcs on the land stop panicking. All the crocodiles who are attacking stop, and their heads kind of turn like a dog's would a little bit, and they slink back into the water so just the eyes are up, and they start to swim backwards. And everything is just calm. No one's worried. You have a big old chunk taken out of your side. You're not worried about it. The orcs who are wounded are like, okay, getting patched up. They're not worried about it. Everyone goes back to their water brigade, and everything's back to normal. Now it starts to fade and everything starts to get more and more energized because they're trying to save their land, but everyone's kind of working in a much more organized way, and they pick it up almost instantly, like all the fear just evaporated out of them.
I just turn around. Well, first of all, I turn back into
Torrvic,
to human, to dwarf form.
Yeah.
And I just turn to.
It's interesting, dwarf form, not back into me. Back into dwarf form. It's interesting way you said that. Okay, fair enough.
I'm starting to lose my sense of self.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
But I turned to the orc that was touching me. Mm-hmm. You mind telling me what that was?
I'm busy right now.
Yeah, he is. He's like,
well, I'm also high as hell on god juice.
He turns and he just places a hand on your chest. And in an instant, you see this moment where he was with a watch party, similar to the ones that were tracking you guys when you were first in the lands, right? Off a little bit to the east and north, kind of near where the forest begins. Then you see a pair of bullets attack, just lurch out of the ground and attack these orcs. You see them rip a couple apart, and then you just see kind of like his hands, but your hands, like you're in his eyes. Reach out and just stroke the edges of these bullets and calm them down, and then boom, you're back inside yourself. And he nods and he goes back to work.
That doesn't explain anything about what I asked for.
He's not great with communication.
He explained everything.
What the hell?
Yeah, no.
All right.
Except he explained everything.
All right, you guys are still working?
Right, we're still working on taming the fire.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Now you die.
Not good.
Okay, did Steven leave his water thing? Is that still...
Not good. I falter.
I would say that... Yeah,
it's
capped. And also when he changes, it changes with his gear, so it's like gone right now.
But then it reappears.
Yeah.
Okay,
10 and 8.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm barbecue Xion.
Okay, so...
the fire is the new god of fire and force.
The fire doubles spiraling towards you. And now the line of daylight explodes outwards and begins to swirl at the edges with fire. There's a bluish purple lightning crackling up the sides as a massive explosion of dust and embers begins to form in a cloud above you and rain down on your area. You guys are protected. The orcs around you are not.
No! This mission is a reputation gain quest. And the more they get hurt, the less reputation you get.
The orcs around you are choking and coughing. They're burning. They're clawing at their eyes and splashing with mud and trying to claw out of this ashen cloud that has descended upon them about 100 feet around you guys like a veil, and they were not ready for it. About, let's see how many got caught in it.
It wasn't us. It was that guy.
There, finally, the fire's out. Now, how about... And all the orcs are dead.
About 22 of them got caught in this, whatever this is, whatever he's made, and it's not stopping. He is turning white. He is firing now, just pure, raw energy straight up into this cloud, and it's getting bigger.
Pera, stop! Let's disengage.
He can't. He either can't hear you or he can't respond. He's just arms out, mouth open, firing this out of him towards the sky.
All right. Well, I use my divinity to attempt to disrupt what he's doing, to stop him.
You can do it on the next round.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Oh no!
I kind of just sit there and ponder what the hell that guy...
You're watching this happen, but you can definitely see this. You saw all of a sudden this huge cloud of ash fall all around them. they are gone inside it. So as far as you know, this ash cloud ate Pera and Xion and about 20 or 30 orcs around them.
Well, as I shake off the peace and love that this weird orc just touched me with, immediately I forget to turn into the ape. I just grab the bottle and start spraying water as best I can.
Strength roll.
Into.
Okay.
1 point better, so
All
it wasn't a natural
so
one.
You pull it, and you're just like, you're struggling, and you're spraying everywhere, and you get a couple droplets in there, but it's going to take you a round to kind of dial that in and get it there the next round. All right?
Be any use.
I'm just going to try to calm down Pera.
Okay. I want you to just talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay, roll.
Calm down, Pera. It's okay, we need
Persuasion?
to stop.
Yeah, definitely. Roll a persuasion. Natural 20. Something gets through. A word, a phrase, maybe just a tone of your voice, something gets through, and you can see, even with all this light and fire, a spark. And it's a spark that you know. And then he's back, and the cloud just gets sucked back in, sucked back up. The ashes just explode out and evaporate, and the orcs are kind of like rocketed back a couple of feet with this kind of like of air that explodes out of them. And there is 200 feet of daylight and fire roaring into you like a tornado. Focused, he is calm. He's like, I'm here. It's okay.
Stay focused, babe.
I'd say the fire's now dropped about 40%. It's reduced in line and also in height. You can also see at the edges it kind of being sucked in towards the middle.
Can I see them?
Yes, now you can. They just got everything. It's almost like someone played a tape in reverse. It just got all sucked up and into the sky and then just became daylight.
Nope, 3.
You do blast them with water, but a little too hard. So you guys get struck in the back, which is the equivalent of a water cannon from a fire engine. Have you ever seen someone get hit by a water cannon from a fire engine? Yeah. I would like you to roll Constitution, both of you.
Natural 1.
Okay, so you are blasted apart. You are now 30 feet from Pera, face down in the mud. Pera has not moved. The water hit him as well, but exploded into steam, which is what blasted the two of you apart. Without you there, he looks panicked for a second, and then and is now blasting that same white energy back into the sky, twice as high this time. That cloud is 200 feet wide. It is going to rain down hot ash next round.
Sorry.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Godsfall. We have maps, character art, and world notes on our website at godsfall.com, as well as links to our Patreon account and Godsfall t-shirts. If you want up-to-the-minute information about our podcast and the Godsfall World Book, follow us on Twitter at GodsfallDC. We also want to take a minute to tell you about our good friends over at battlebards.com who have been kind enough to send us a catalog of all new sounds. They've added undead minions like zombies and skeleton hordes, and the necromancy spells that summon them. Weather like the roar of a powerful wind and the crash of lightning. Enchantment spells like Hold Person and Transfixion. Even the gruff, barking tone of a dwarf. So if you want your game to sound as good as Godsfall, check out battlebards.com. That's all from us this week. For notes, maps, and more, check us out on godsfall.com.
Hearts.